After 6 years, we finally got a new Shantae. Only it's an old Shantae. An old Shantae that was cancelled back on the Gameboy Advance and has recently been resurrected. And thank God for it. As a forewarning, I'm not going to dive super deep into the specifics of the story, but there will be some minor spoilers here and there, as well as showing an ending screen and an unlockable mode, so if that's something you care about, you are warned. In a series that I love, Shantae Risky Revolution might actually be my favorite in the entire series. It does the good things that the franchise is known for very well, and avoids many of the criticisms that I have with the series to provide a gameplay experience that is fun, challenging, and exciting. As I already said, the game was originally developed for the Game Boy Advance. I played the game with emulation as my collector's edition still hasn't come in yet. Though I'm also planning to get the game on Switch, and that will be my playable copy, and I'm going to keep my GBA copy sealed. I played the game via MGBA on my PC and MGBA through RetroArch on my phone. Being a GBA game, it features that nostalgic 16-bit aesthetic, and I think it looks great. All the sprites are expressive and detailed. Since I played the game with emulation, I reaped the benefits of emulation and played with CRT filters. On my PC, I used the TV mode filter that was preloaded with MGBA with the line brightness set to 0.6, and it looks like this. And on my phone, I used the filtered grits scanlines that came pre-installed with RetroArch, and it looks like this. A completely unfiltered game looks like this. Despite that the game originally would have been played on an LCD screen and not a CRT TV, I personally prefer the way the game looks with a CRT filter applied to it, so I played it that way. And the footage in my video reflects that. But the game still looks good without filters, and of course it would look even better on a smaller screen so the pixels aren't so blown up, as it was originally intended to be on a much smaller Game Boy Advance screen. On top of the aesthetics, the fan service is fully intact with, as far as I can tell, no censorship. I know that's a hot topic in 2025. Shantae as a franchise has been unaffected by the industry push to tone down game content. And while this is technically an old game, mostly developed before the pro-censorship, anti-fan service push, the series as a whole has always stood behind its fan service elements. And I will forever give WayForward applause for sticking to their guns and delivering on those uncensored, fan service-filled experiences, making the Shantae games the way they want to make them. Risky Revolution is no exception, with all the scant costumes, end screens, innuendo jokes, and jiggle physics that you want in a Shantae game. So with all that shit aside, is the game any good? If all I cared about was jiggle physics and fan service, I'd be playing some stupid bullshit gacha game. Or Stellar Blade. And happily, yeah, Risky Revolution is very good. I really like it. Every Shantae game has its quirks, its positives and negatives, but I actually find Risky Revolution to be the one with the most overall balanced gameplay experience in the series. It features great art direction and highly detailed graphics, fun dungeon design with puzzles, metroidvania world design that encourages exploration without feeling tedious, simple yet tight and fun combat, and it's actually challenging, without feeling unfair or too difficult at times like the original Game Boy Color game did. I actually died a handful of times, and there's no infinite magic, infinite invincibility, shield mechanics. Risky Revolution seems to take the best pieces of the other games without their negatives, which is weird considering, again, this was a cancelled game originally slated to be released for the Game Boy Advance, and would have been the second game in the series. It's got the challenge of the original Shantae without feeling unfair, it has the huge Metroidvania exploration of Risky's Revenge and Seven Sirens without ever feeling tedious or overwhelming, it has the individual level separation of Pirate's Curse or Half Genie Hero without sacrificing the desired Metroidvania backtracking exploration experience. It has the layered level design where you can jump back and forth between the foreground and background, like in Risky's Revenge, without the well, actually, I don't have anything negative to say about the level design in Risky's Revenge. And it has a huge assortment of transformation dances and magics to use without ever feeling exploitable for invincibility or easy combat. Risky Revolution sees Shantae and friends facing the threat of risky boots as she develops a machine capable of moving the earth. She moves the various towns around, making them experience disasters, and it's up to Shantae to save the day. Franchise mainstays return. Bolo, who repairs broken machines, giving Shantae the ability to shift the earth for towns, returning them to their original state. Sky, who flies Shantae around from town to town. Roddy Tops, who acts as the shopkeeper this time around. Risky Boots, playing her role as the villain, and Uncle Mimic, who is gathering a group of other scientists together to find a way to stop Risky's machine without destroying the world. The dialogue is fun and quippy, and it's always a treat seeing these characters interact. It being the second game in the timeline means that some of the relationships aren't quite as developed as in past games, and some of the other series mainstays, like the Barons, don't return, but I still found the story to be enjoyable. Mechanically, if you've ever played a Shantae game, you know what to expect. You fight enemies with your hair, collect money to buy upgrades and magic, use the magic to give Shantae weapons and buffs. Combat is simple, but functional. It's not really the focus of the series, but it's still fun to whip enemies with your hair. There are mini-bosses and bosses, which provide some added challenge to the simplicity of the base combat. Some of these bosses actually do require some thinking and pattern learning to overcome. They can be really creative, and are definitely the highlight to the overall combat experience. You probably could brute force your way through the game with a bunch of healing items, but I feel like money isn't really easy to farm in this game, meaning that if you want your upgrades, you probably won't have an abundance of healing items to brute force your way through said bosses, making this issue kind of a moot point. Some of the boss designs are wild looking too. Honestly, the only way to really farm for money in this game is to have the magic pot out when you're fighting, as it essentially doubles whatever gems you pick up by spitting out a gem of the same type. So it speeds up the grind process, but you still need to grind for money even with the magic pot. The game is broken up into several individual sections that act as levels, each level providing a large environment to explore and dungeons and secret areas. Instead of traveling a wide open world like in Shantae or Risky's Revenge, you fly from level to level with Sky, like how it is in Pirate's Curse and Seven Sirens. You'll find yourself backtracking through these levels as you get new abilities to fully find everything. Amongst the collectibles are heart containers, which give you more health, and secret squids. These squids don't give you anything mechanically and are just used for an endgame count, which is a little disappointing that they don't give you any sort of upgrade. Still, finding them all is fun, and it avoids feeling like a tedious chore. The transformation dances return, this time with a simple button hold and additional button combo. Featured are the monkey, which can climb walls and see through walls, elephant, which can charge through blocks and stomp blocks, the crab, which can walk in water and lay bombs that power electrical devices, the spider, which can climb spider webs and shoot, the harpy, which can fly and shoot, and the mermaid, which can swim freely in the water and shoot. They're all used to solve puzzles and get to hidden areas throughout the game, though the crab does become fairly useless once you get the mermaid, beyond being used for very specific environmental puzzles involving its bombs. One thing I wish the game had was some sort of puzzle gauntlet at the end of the game, kind of like how Risky's Revenge had, that forces you to utilize all the transformations in tandem with one another, or kind of even like how Pirate's Curse had the platforming challenge at the end, that required you to use all of your pirate abilities in tandem. Something that really showcases your mastery of the transformation's abilities and uses, and shows how they can all be used together to overcome a complex platforming puzzle situation. Unfortunately, nothing like that exists, and every transformation is used individually for specific use platforming or puzzle sections. Honestly, I'm really happy the game got released. It's everything I want from a Shantae game, and it's honestly crazy to think we almost didn't get to play it at all. It ties directly into Risky's Revenge too. Nothing about Risky Revolution feels underdeveloped or like an afterthought. I still don't understand how this game was cancelled and never saw the light of day. Shantae is a super underrated series, and if you're looking for good games with fun metroidvania gameplay, fun humor and fan service, and appealing visuals, please check out the Shantae games. And if you're already a fan of the franchise, Risky Revolution is a definite worthwhile addition to the franchise.